All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another beautiful day. My name is Achinja Abram Afau, um, your coach and counselor. So, welcome to Root Bridge Foundation, a place of service and growth, a place where service is excellence and growth is eminence. So, here we talk about ways that we can build and take our relationships a step forward. Now, today we're going to be looking at forgiveness and loss. This is the topic I want to share with us today: forgiveness and love and loss when it comes to relationship, and how you should deal with it or take care of it or handle it. You know, now when it comes to a relationship is a very serious issue, is a delicate matter that many people take for granted. But I don't think it's something that we should, it's not, it's a very delicate matter. But a lot of people trivialize it. A lot of people, treat it casually. And well, I'm happy because for once, it has never disappointed us. Relationship matter has always beaten us to our own games and perception of it, especially when it slides away from truth and sincerity. It will always beat you down. Relationship is not it's not a strategy of life. It's not a scheme of of any it's not a scheme of an organization or an entity. It is nature, it is human nature, it is God's design. So everything is interdependent. So the more you try to capitalize on any, in quote, any chance that you feel is an opportunity for you to explore, it will always bounce back and beat you at your own game. So that's how serious relationship is. That is how really how serious it is. So today we're going to talk about forgiveness. But before we look at forgiveness, there are a couple of concepts I'd like us to look at or to understand or to see them. I feel that if we understand these concepts, we can come back and then talk about forgiveness and loss. Okay. Now, I want us to see wrong and mistake. Wrong and mistake. Now, when we talk about wrong, wrong wrong is an intentional act that is intended to cause pain and suffering to people. Wrong is an intentional act that is intended to cause pain and suffering to people. So for you to commit wrong to someone, you must have sat down, thought about it, planned it, usually more than 10 minutes. Okay, I'm just, at least, even if you have to think about it for a minute, I mean, there is commitment of time to it. But usually it takes longer than that. Maybe like days, weeks, months, some even a year. That is wrong. It's an intentional act. The point is there is intention to it. And usually it's to cause pain and suffering. Then mistakes are unplanned events that happens or occur in the process of doing something. So once you're doing something, yes, you could make mistake and anything could happen in that case. Now, in case of mistakes, excuse me, everybody can see that it's a mistake, it's not intentional, and to defend yourself, you're going to have like plentiful evidence, to defend yourself, to clear yourself off and say, no, this was not an intentional act, it was a genuine mistake, it wasn't intended to cause any pain, any misery, or any suffering. That's for mistake. Now, another concept I want us to look at is right and humanity. When we talk about the issue of right, we or rights, a bit better rights, yeah. When we talk about right, we're talking about your opinions and your perception as regards to what is okay for you and what probably may not be okay for you. That's what we're talking about. Then when we talk about humanity, we're talking about peace, we're talking about nature, we're talking about human behavior, things that you accept their possibility, things that could happen within human nature. It's possible. So you accept them and come to terms with them. Now we're talking about relationship, right? And I try to make it clear from the beginning that relationship is a very serious matter that requires a hodgepodge of wisdom and intelligence, you know, and consideration when it comes to dealing with it. It's not something that you do it haphazardly. It's not something that you rush into it. It's something that you really need to take your time to examine it, to look into it before you can take any profitable action. So that's relationship for you. And many people try to trivialize relationship. They try to take a lot of things for granted. And like I said, we often get beaten by our own game. You cannot win. You cannot win once it's not coming from the angle of truth, when it's not coming from the angle of sincerity. You're not going to win. There's no winning for you. You can try, but you're not going to get away with it. So relationship, it's a very, very serious business. Now, like I said, we're talking about forgiveness. This is my opinion or my perception of it in terms of relationship. And ever since I I um, I imbibe this perception, it has helped me to maintain good relationship as well as even start good relationships and keep them. It doesn't matter what kind, whether you're doing it with a person in terms of intimacy or you're just as business relationship or any kind of relationship at all. One perception that can really edify you or can really lead to growth and then service that is genuine and sincere is to see, you know, forgiveness as an act of contrition that no one has the power to do or give you except you. The day I started taking it upon myself that nobody can forgive me except me, and it is an act of contrition, feeling sorry, taking responsibility, accepting your shortcomings, and owning up to them. I'm telling you, the day you start perceiving forgiveness in such kind of light in terms of relationship, your relationship is going to be cemented. Yes, it's going to be cemented. It's going to be cemented when you begin to perceive forgiveness as honestly nobody, and in truth, honestly, nobody can forgive you. The way I normally put it back then as a child when I started growing up is that it is not the the wronged who can forgive. It is the sinner who can forgive. That's why there are times that you might or may have hurt somebody, and even when the person tells you or says, "I have forgiven you," you don't feel forgiven. Do you know why you don't feel forgiven? It's because that person does not have the power to forgive you. You are the one to forgive yourself. You are the one to first of all forgive yourself. And when I started thinking about that in my relationship, anytime I want to do something, I ask myself, have you forgiven yourself? If you do this, if you carry out this action, will you be able to forgive yourself? Will you be able to forgive yourself? When a man is about to cheat on his wife or his partner, he needs to ask himself, do I need to forgive myself and retreat from this act. So if you go ahead with your action, this wrongdoing, this wrongdoing, honestly, your partner cannot forgive you. As a woman, if you allow yourself to cheat on your husband or your partner without forgiving yourself and calling yourself back, you don't need their forgiveness. I mean, you didn't forgive yourself. So how can they forgive you? You didn't forgive yourself. You didn't do any better. You went ahead. So that's why I started from the beginning by telling you that there is a fine line between mistake and wrong. There is a fine line between these concepts. They're not, nothing to confuse them. There's a fine line between mistake and wrong. Wrong is an intentional act. And you see, infidelity, everything in life, yeah, everything in life has a level of severity or just simply has level. There are some things that, according to their level, they cannot be classified as mistakes. And you see, relationship is just one of those aspects of human endeavor or life that is almost impossible. Like most of the things around it, it's almost impossible to fall under mistake. Most of it, most of it is almost impossible. Do you know what it means to to have an affair with another man or another woman? Do you know what it means? Like relationship has stages. One of it is the layman's, understanding. One of it is the chasing part of it. The chasing part of it, the accepting part of it. The chasing is that the man will literally go, unless the man is a prostitute, unless the woman is a prostitute. And if that's the case, I am pretty sure a prostitute does not need anything to be sorry about because, yeah, she's a prostitute. She sells her body for money. This transaction, usually she hardly even has a boyfriend to account for. Usually he hardly has a girlfriend to account for. Those kind of people, they're usually not accountable. So, but we're talking about normal human beings that are responsible, that know what it is to keep relationship and really want to be husbands and wives. Do you know what it means for you to, lay with another person who is not your wife or who is not your husband? How do you explain that around mistake? The man came because you're not a prostitute, so it's not possible that you accepted that very day. So maybe he tried one day, second day, third day. You did not report these incidents to your husband. You didn't tell him about it. You kept it. You were trying to deal with it yourself. You have a partner that you guys are supposed to be working together as a team. You guys are supposed to be going through life together as a team. But you did not involve this person in this discussion, in this relationship. You went about dealing with it all by yourself. So this man chased you, came after you one time, two times, three times, four times, probably even up to a month or one or two, 30 days, 60 days. You probably give the person a yes. Probably a couple of times he took you out on a date. You ate and drank. Afterwards, of all these 30 days or 60 days, even if it's just a week, you were coming back to your partner, sleeping on the same bed, looking at this person. Even if the person is not even around in the house, the fact that you come back under his roof, maybe his picture is on the wall, your pictures together is on the wall that you get to see. Or probably he gets to call you at least because you are his wife, you are his property. So that person is definitely going to call you once or twice a week. So this person calls you and you guys talk. You still went ahead with another guy on a date, have a relationship with this guy, slept with this guy. How do you come back and explain that is a mistake? How do you do that? How do you tell us 30 days of allowing another man into your space as a woman and opening your clothes, taking off your shirt, taking off your bra, all of that is a mistake. As a man, how do you explain that to us as being a mistake? Allowing yourself to chase another woman who is not your wife 30 days or even more, even if it's a week, and you come back and say it's a mistake. No, it's not a mistake, it's wrong. That is a clear act of wrongdoing, intentionally carrying out an activity that is intended to cause hurt, that is intended to cause pain, that will definitely cause pain and hurt. So that is not wrong. That is not mistake. That is wrong in relationship. That is wrong. So there's no justification for it. It is wrong and it is, period. It is wrong. It is wrong. Now, let's talk about forgiveness. Let's talk about forgiveness. In this case, in this case, forgiveness, forgiveness in this case is your choice. Is your choice. And forgiveness, you, like I said, you the wrong cannot forgive yourself. It is you, the sinner, who can forgive yourself. It is you, the sinner. So at each of these points, if you're not able to forgive yourself and stop, you honestly, your partner cannot forgive you. They don't, not that they may not say that they have forgiven you, but they honestly don't have any much to do or say as regards to whether they're going to forgive you or not. They honestly don't. Because you could still go back to that life again if you want to, if you choose. You could still go back. And if you keep going back, how long are you going to keep asking? Because you are doing it by your own volition. It's not them compelling you to do it. You are the one doing it by your own volition. So it is by your own volition that you can call yourself back to order. It's by your own volition that you can tell yourself, no, I don't want to do this anymore. So if you cannot do that for yourself, they honestly cannot do that for you. That's why I tell you that it is the sinner who has the power to forgive and not the wronged. So anytime you're planning to do something that's going to cause pain or that you know is going to cause pain to another person, if you carry out this action, if you carry it out to the latter, I'm sorry. Don't ask for someone else's forgiveness. Allow them to carry out their intention to the latter as much as you did carry out yours. Don't try to influence them. Don't slap somebody and tell them how to cry or how to react. No, you can't do that in a relationship. You can't do that. You can't do that. You see, let's digress a little bit. That's what's happening in between Israel and Hamas today. When Hamas entered Israel and killed innocent civilians and people, this is not something that, it's not a one day thing. It doesn't matter what they think about it. I'm not saying whether they entered it's right or wrong. I'm not talking about right or wrong. I'm talking about action and reaction. They went, they planned this action. Only God knows how long. But I can tell you it's more than a month. More than 30 days of planning how to enter into a country, kill innocent people, and they carried out their action to the ladder. There was no point that they call themselves back to order and say, no, what about the repercussion? What about the consequences? Can we bear it if it comes back at us? What if they're going to do this? And what if they decide to come and kill us back? Can we deal with it? So they didn't look at themselves, perhaps, or perhaps they did knew that Israel was going to react. So they are more prepared. So you see, Israel, there was nothing Israel could have done about maybe like tell them, you guys are planning to kill us, don't do that, stop it. No, Israel couldn't have done that. It is them. So if they went all the way, carried their action without forgiving themselves, Israel does not have the power to forgive them. Does not have. They didn't forgive themselves. So what are they asking? Why are they asking Israel to forgive them? So I hope you get the point. It's the same thing with relationship. Now, when the repercussions started falling down on them, when the repercussions started falling down on them, that's when they begin to regret. At that point, well, at that point, I don't really even know who to regret. I don't even think Hamas still today regrets its action. I don't even think they feel loss. Now that's where the aspect of loss come into play, where two people cannot lose. Only one person can lose. So you see that person who carries out his action to the ladder. I am telling you, that person it's almost impossible for that person to lose. So carry out if you spare them, you are the one at the loss because they are prepared for your action, whatever it may be. They are prepared, but you were not prepared, so that's why they're able to hit you hard. But if you are able to find a way to hit them back, then do it as much as you can. And that's what Israel is doing to Hamas, trying to hit them back as much as they can. Because if they had had their way to hit Israel as much as Israel is hitting them now, that's exactly what they would have done. And if they had the chance to have done more, I'm pretty sure that's what they would have done. So they hit as hard as they could and as much as they could. So they give their best shot. So the person who's trying to hurt you, he's usually giving his best shot. He's giving your best shot. So you need to give your best shot. If they are not able to forgive themselves, call themselves back to order, give them your best shot as well. Give them your best shot. Give them your best shot. So that's how it works. So two people cannot lose at the same time. Two people cannot lose. Only one person to lose. But that person hurting you usually can have like you are the one who's it doesn't matter what action you take afterwards. Oftentimes, if they've already got you a little bit, you are the one at the loss, losing part. But whether the loss is going to affect you or not depends on how you choose to, take care of it, handle it, or perceive it. But usually, you are the one at the loss. And if you're able to stop them before carrying out any action, lucky you. You don't have anything to lose. But they don't have anything to lose too, because if they had their way, they will hit you, and they're most likely prepared for your own response. Yes. So if a partner decides to take advantage of you, they don't have anything to lose. They're usually prepared for you. But now at the same time, I want you to understand me very clearly. I want you to get this. I'm not asking you to leave your relationship because a man is cheating on you or because a woman is cheating on you. And at the same time, I'm not asking you to stay in a relationship where your man is cheating on you or your woman is cheating on you. But whether or not you're going to stay depends on your consideration in the light of your opinions, that is humanity and right. Humanity and right. This is why I'm going to talk about humanity and right. Right is opinions and perception, while humanity is for your peace and accepting nature. Now, let me tell you, there is literally nothing I'd say logical that I've seen behind why it is boldly written in a pack of cigarette that smokers are liable to die young, and yet we have people smoking every now and then. As a matter of fact, those organizations, producing these products have not been closed down. Like they are licensed to do that. Like This is not right, is it? But it's human nature, it's nature. And human beings, we have come to terms and accepted it for peace, that you have the choice to decide. If you choose to take it, you will bear the consequences of that action, of that decision. If you choose not to take it, you will be the one at the same time to, in quote, benefit the consequences of that decision. Put a bottle of beer one side and a plate of food the other. I'm telling you, many will still pick the bottle of beer over food. I don't think it's right, but it's human nature. It's human nature. These are some of the things that you need to consider in light of relationship, in terms of forgiving, in terms of loss. You need to know your place. A lot of things have to come into play before you decide whether you want to let go of that relationship or you want to keep it still. Whether you want to forgive or you want to forget. You want to forgive or you want to forget. So a lot of consideration will come into place. I would advise you to choose peace, humanity, over being right. Right is your opinion, what you think should be right. Yes, it's not right for a man to cheat on a woman. It's not right. But sometimes it happens. Human nature. So what are you going to do when it happens? I don't know what you're going to do, but there are a couple of factors that you need to consider, put into consideration before you take whatever action you're going to take. It's not right for a woman to cheat on a man, but sometimes it does happen. When it does, what are you going to do about it? I don't know what you're going to do about it, but there are a couple of factors you will need to consider. One of such factors is, how often does this happen? How often? How did you meet your man or your woman? Where did you find her? Where did you find him? What were your discussions like before you guys got together? These are some of the things that you need to consider. If you never cared to ask your man, maybe from the onset, how many women he has been with, what is his perception about, promiscuity, you never cared to answer because maybe for whatsoever reason, if you were afraid to ask because you feel like it's going to hurt him, now it's eventually hurting you, well, bear the consequences. No two ways about it. Bear the consequences. If you never ask your wife her perception about, cheating, or, about when a man cheats or she's going to cheat, but if you never care to ask all these things, if she does it, bear the consequences. It's your own misdoing or undoing. So these are some of the things that you need to consider before you think about forgiving or forgetting. So these are some of the things you need to consider. Humanity over right, over your opinions, over right. You don't always have to be right. Some of the things you may honestly not even understand. You may honestly not understand, but sometimes it will do you a whole power of good, a whole more power of good when you choose peace, humanity over right and opinions. Now, this is a little bit touching, but for the sake of this educational program, I need to speak about it. Now, if you see what's happening between Ukraine and Russia and between Israel and Hamas, a lot of men have died. Most of those in the war front are men. So by that, it means the number of men is decreasing as the ratio of women. So which eventually means that we're going to have more women than men. So if that be the case, If let's say the men in because they don't want to be irresponsible, we know it's not right. It's not going to feel right. But based on humanity, if the men in Gaza decide to tell the women that are alive that, see, most of our men have died in this battle of trying to confront, the Israeli soldiers, the military, and now maybe the ceasefire, so now we need to start building our homes. But we have a lot of you, on the street. We can't just leave you like that, because if we leave you, you people are human beings. You have the urge, and it will turn to immorality, responsibility, and all of that. So why can we just marry you people in twos or threes, depending on our not even based on capability, just for the sake of having a family, starting a family, and probably boosting our population, so that we can capitalize again. That is humanity. So if you happen to be the wife of, maybe let's say, wife, your husband is alive, and your husband brings this on the table and says, for your fellow women out there, and looking at what has happened or befalling our country, our space, would you understand? Would you choose humanity and say, okay, fine, it's okay? Because if you leave those women out there, they will become prostitutes, and your men will still go out there. And if she's a prostitute, it means other men will have access to her. And if other men have access to her, you don't know what other men are carrying. And your man might mistakenly have access to her. And he will bring it back to you. And you see, that is more damaging. But by the time he marries her and keeps her, it is only you and that one and the husband that is you people are just within you people. So at least you will know your status, he will know his status, and he will know the status of that woman. At least you will know her own, because she's your co-wife. But if she's not, you cannot really ascertain her status. So you can see. So if you look at it in this light, you are no longer talking about right. It's not about right now. It's about humanity. It's about nature. It's about behavior. It's about peace. It's about peace. You're looking at. So the same thing. So sometimes when your man cheats, you need to ask yourself some certain questions. Really, really. If I leave this man because he cheats, if I go out there knowing the nature of the man, knowing the nature of the man now, what is the possibility of finding another man who wouldn't do the same? So sometimes you have to choose a peace as as a man, as a woman, and say, okay, fine. You try to maybe like reconcile with him, beg him, or just say anything that will help him be more cautious. As a man, if you find a woman who nags a lot, who maybe is emotional, who maybe is so demanding, especially in our world today, if you divorce her because of that, it's just nature. Women are naturally emotional. Sometimes they nag. If you want to leave her, what is the possibility of finding another one who doesn't do that? She may do that in a way different, maybe not in the exact way. So these are some things that we need to consider. Okay, so that is it for today. I hope you have learned something, and I hope you are a moment better. So forgiveness, we need to start forgiving ourselves. Nobody can forgive us. If you cannot forgive yourself, you don't need someone else's forgiveness. You are the only one, the only person who can forgive yourself. And when people carry out any wrongdoing to the latter without forgiving themselves, you also have the liberty to act in whatever capacity you feel. But I want you to know that in whatever capacity you act to, your action is not the whatever action you would take does not absolve you from the consequences of your action. Okay, it doesn't. So as you act, you also need to act with caution, with honesty, with truth, and with acceptance that whatever action you're going to take afterwards, there will be a ripple effect. Are you prepared to handle the effect? If you are not prepared to handle the effect, then act according to what you can handle, such as either to let the whole entire situation go or do whatever you can. Okay? So, anyways, is that, anyways, simply we cannot lose. If you've already been hurt, chasing the snake that beats you will probably not give you quick healing, may not resolve the problem. So, in order not to end up losing two ways, not end up driving the venom deep inside your body and eventually killing you, you may choose to heal over to fight. So, thank you very much. Have a wonderful today. I remain yours faithfully, Achinja Abraham Afao. Let's do this again some other time. Bye.